Right, well, we're back with the Wye Radiogram, WYE, and I've remounted the power supply, reconnected the motor, and that's the new capacitor in comparison with the old capacitor. I don't know about those of you who know about date codes. Well, you know, this wasn't playing up, and we've replaced it because of the age of the product. And what do we discover? It's a Nikon. Wow. Now, what I'm going to say is date code's 91128. I wonder if that's possibly 1969. Is that the 6 and that's the 9? I just wonder. Right, we'll put it the right way on and we'll start the turntable service. Right, here we go. So we need to take the platter off. Take the spindle out. I'll just get another blue, I've got a blue towel on the left side of the cabinet. I don't want to mar the finish. And hopefully this lift straight. Oh no, we've got the circlip to take out. What am I talking about? There we are, that's the circlip out. Should lift straight off. It does. Now this is the plastic platter. So exactly the same procedure as we did with the Stereo Master. It's a cheaper turntable, but by today's standards of what you'd buy today, it's like a Rolls Royce. We're doing the HMV Stereo Master 2400 next, which is a stereogram, it's not a radiogram. Same cabinet size but doesn't have a radio. And they use a Garrard 3000 turntable, which I always like a little better, but they don't have an anti-skate control. So I've taken the circlip off that. We'll withdraw it with its thrust washer. We'll try and withdraw it with its thrust washer. And there's another washer underneath. Take the auto mechanism cam off. And withdraw that. It's as dry as a bone, that. So it wants a bit of lubrication. We'll just clean some of that previous grease up. I'm going to use WD-40 to dissolve it. And I need the kitchen roll. I'm going to apply it to the kitchen roll rather than to the product. So we've still got some of that off, which is nice. Same applies to these tracks. I'll put it on the tracks in this case. We'll just run round. I don't need to get that out. We're going to apply some light oil as I've done before. Andy from Vintage Audio pointed out a particular grease we can use, which is better than what they put on before, and I've got that on order. Right, so we'll pop that out. That's the ball race there. We'll get the household oil, pop some down there, pop some around there, and get some down that motor to hopefully find its way into the bottom. Once again, we're going to take this top bit off, which is the auto return trigger thing. We'll take that off. And you can make sure that these are quite clear of each other, which they are. Maybe prudent to run some paper through that, so we'll get yet another blue towel. So the idea is to lubricate this pin and that. So we're going to get the household oil. Where did I put that kitchen roll? You should have all been looking. So I'm going to apply that to the roll. Put that on there. Put the ball bearings back. Some oil on those. Put the washer back like I usually forget and then end up having to do it after I've put this back. We'll run some oil around that. And Andy's quite right, if we've used the right, very light grease, that would be fine. And I'm going to put some on that centre spindle just so that I've got my finger there, so when I put it back on, with any luck it'll go on there. Now, these don't always sit in, as I've said before and demonstrated before. We sometimes have to, yeah, this is going to be another one where we've got to pull it with a bit of wire or string or whatever you got handy. I used a reel of wire again. Get that round there, just pull it slightly, it's gone straight in, withdraw that, and that now goes straight on there. Might have helped if I'd have put that on earlier. And its circlip, and its circlip, want to make sure that this has got absolutely nothing on its motor shaft, and for that we'll use the isopropyl alcohol. I think we're done with Mr. Chippy's WD-40. You know what, it might be really sensible to have this on and that motor running. We don't normally have power when we do these. That's got a little bit more muck off that, which is always helpful. Do the other side. That's nothing come off of this time. Out of interest, we'll put it on disc and see if that's working on both channels. So that's right, left. Yeah, it is. Next thing I'm going to do, and put that, well, I'll tell you what, we'll just, that bit of oil we had, I'll just put some on there, and we'll just put it on the idler's spindle. Put that washer on. And then we'll clean the idler, which looks a bit grubby, to be honest. Right, once again we'll put some isopropyl alcohol on the paper and we'll go around that. Well, that seems nice and free now. Press the stop button. Put the circlip back. Is that one I'm going to have to use pliers with? Nothing like this. Nearly on, actually. In fact, it probably is on. It's on. I just didn't feel it was on, but it was. So we're going to clean the inside of this platter with the isopropyl alcohol. I won't do the circlip yet. Well, to be honest, that looks about right. I'll not put side B on of that. What did I put on? Anyway, the copyright police got it on the Stereo Master demonstration, so we got 20 seconds of muted audio. But the Swingle Singers didn't get affected, and the 10-inch record didn't get affected. Right, we'll stop that. That looks satisfactory. Put the circlip back. Oh god, now another one I've done with my fingers. They used to call me Bert when I was doing my church organ building apprenticeship, and so why do you call me Bert? And the boss said, The worst apprentice we ever had was Bert, and you're the next. But he didn't really mean that, because I wasn't that bad. But they used to know that I'd got these strong fingers, and if they couldn't undo something, I'll get Bert's fingers onto it. So I was well known for that. So we'll cycle that through once so that it resets, and like we did with the Stereo Master, we'll try and set it up with a 10-inch record. Now then, I've missed the thrust washer off. Right. I'll use the pliers second time. I'd have hated to have sent that back and spotted it, but that's why we put it on the cabinet, so at least I can see. And as I said, we'll cycle the mechanism whilst I go and get a record. Barrett's Strict Tempo Music for Dancing. Now, a lot of these very early 10-inch LPs will have been mastered from 78s. So we're not looking for sound quality, it's just so we can align the mechanism. So the idea is you're going to, you first test it with a 10-inch record. We're setting the mechanism to 10, 33 RPM, and we want to see that it's dropping in the correct place on a 10-inch record. And then 7-inch and 12-inch should automatically fall into place. Let's see what happens. Got a very distorted left-hand channel. What I didn't do is check the stylus, did I? We haven't checked the weight, we haven't checked the stylus. So with the stylus microscope, I'm just going to look at that. It doesn't look that good, to be honest. Let's see what it says. LP Sapphire is ST 16 or 18 and 78. I think it's ST18. So I'm now stuck. Is it the stylus or is it the cartridge that is a bit iffy? Anyway, we'll set up the pressure. It needs changing. So right, here we go. So I want it to be 4 or under, to be honest. 3 point. Should be alright at that. Certainly wanted it to be more than 2.5, so that, I think that's alright. So I would suspect that the adjustment, without looking it up, would be there for the pressure. So it sounds absolutely lousy on the left-hand channel. So once again, we'll move over to that that jazz record and just see if this sounds absolutely lousy on the other channel. So we'll go to a 12-inch record, see if it drops in the correct place. It does. And it's skipping, so we've got a situation where that stylus is beyond useful. Right, we better pause the video and see what we can do about that. Okay then, so I've had a word with the customer via email, and he's going to fit a replacement cartridge and a stylus. I did order one, but it doesn't matter. We can always use those. So the reason it was skipping on the LP is I got it in the 78 position from when I put the stylus back, having examined it. So that was entirely my fault. So hopefully it'll play this single. Now, yesterday when we did the Stereo Master 2412, we ended up with the copyright police on eBay, on YouTube, muting my audio for 18 seconds. With it being a copyright thing. So this time we're going to play Gary Newman Asylum, which is the B-side of whatever was on the A-side. Just Cars, that was it. Cars on the A-side. So it's only going to work properly on the right-hand channel, and that's a fact of life. What's happened is, I don't know whether you can see this without me. No, you can't. As some of you will know who know about record players, there are solder tags that go onto the cartridge. So you've got 2 channels, with it being stereo, so you've got 4 connections. And on a mono one, you have 2 connections for the 1 channel. And they're on these solder tags. What's happened here is one of those solder tags must have fallen off, and somebody has soldered the wire onto the cartridge. You can't do that because it wrecks the material which is inside the cartridge. So it's now ruined on 1 channel. So here we go, let's see what happens. We're in 45, we're at 7-inch, let's hope it puts down in the correct position, and let's hope that the copyright police don't whisk it away. What I'm going to do, it doesn't have a queuing lever, I'm going to lift it up and we'll put it down further on. Now I'm going to let that go to the end because I want to see it lift off the record. Whilst it does that, and I'm being careful by messing with the volume and messing where it is in the hope that we don't get the audio muted. So we're going to conclude this video at this point with it needing the cartridge replacing. So your right hand channel, your left hand channel, just as the record ends. Hopefully that will now pick up and take off in the correct place. The radio is working fine. There's long wave radio 4.
The scene in one house in the Mayhill area of Swansea last.
Right channel, left channel, amplifier working fine. Put the transit clip on. I'll lock down that mechanism. We'll put the bottom on, and the customer's picking it up tomorrow. Now I've done a CB radio. It's a Harrier CBX. It's box schedule 3 for people who have stuff in for repair. So we have done box schedule 3. We'll be starting box schedule 4, sequence 4 tomorrow. Subject to workload other than that. So there we are. We have finally finished, as far as we're going, with the Wye Radiogram from round about probably 1969, looking at that capacitor from the date code there. So we'll be starting on the Stereo Master 2400 from a customer in Sheffield, and Mr. Chippy will be taking that amplifier apart, and it's a bit less work than some of them because it doesn't have a radio built into it. So thanks for watching the Wye Radiogram Part 3.